for the abdominals and lower back will be another exercise on the hands and knees called Tiger. We have several modifications that we'll work through today. So again, begin on the hands and knees. Come upright, bringing the hands directly underneath the shoulders and the knees directly underneath the hips. Make sure that the knees are hip width apart, maybe slightly wider, and the hands should be shoulder width apart, fingers spread wide, providing a nice firm and stable foundation. Again, in this posture on the hands and knees, be really mindful of dumping into the lower back. So try not to let the belly drop down towards the floor. See how this creates a deep curvature in the lower spine? We want to try to minimize that by drawing the abdominal muscles in around baby and lengthening through the low back, so that this low back stays nice and long. This will protect the spine. So the first variation of this exercise, of this tiger pose, will be with the arms. We'll start with the right arm, lifting the right arm up alongside the ear, lengthening through the fingertips. So the fingertips reach straight out in front of you. The bicep is right beside the ear. The back of the neck is nice and long. This works the shoulders and upper back. Keep breathing, and then placing the right hand down to the floor. We'll switch sides. Again, left arm reaches up. Lengthen through the fingertips. Lots of energy through the arms so the bicep can be engaged. Keep the tone in the abdomen. So again, try not to drop the belly here. Keep the spine nice and long. Keep lengthening through the fingertips. And keep breathing. Smooth, even, long breaths. Deep inhalations and exhalations. Place the left hand down onto the floor. This is the first variation. Second variation of tiger pose will be with the legs. So we'll add the legs here. Extending the right leg back first. Reaching through the heels. So the toes are curled into the floor here. This is a nice stretch for the back of the legs. Great for releasing the calves and hamstrings. Nice to open this area, especially those of you who may be experiencing cramping during the nights or any kind of leg cramps throughout the pregnancy. From here, being mindful again of the lower back, so keep drawing the navel in, keep drawing the abdominal muscles around the baby, drawing the baby towards the spine as you lift the right leg off of the floor. Try to keep firming in through the outer left hip, keeping both hips level and even with one another. Drawing the right inner thigh up towards the ceiling, the top of the hip down towards the floor, flexing through the foot. Taking several breaths here. And then when you're ready, bending the knee and bringing the right knee back onto the floor. And we'll do the same exercise on the other side. So the left leg reaches back, curling the toes into the floor, reaching through the heel to stretch first through the calf and the back of the leg. Keeping the breath smooth and even, and then slowly and mindfully lifting the foot off of the floor, making sure that the heel, the foot and heel goes no higher than the hip. So we want to make sure that it just stays at hip height, no higher, to minimize any torquing or excessive motion in the lower back. Again, the inner thigh reaches up towards the ceiling, the top of the hip draws towards the floor, and there's a lot of activity in the stomach. The belly is drawing, the abdominal muscles are drawing in to lengthen through the low back. When you're ready, bending the knee, placing the knee back on the floor. And then the final variation will be using both arms and legs. So this requires a lot of strength and balance as well, which may be more challenging as pregnancy progresses. So starting with the right leg back. Again, reach through the heel, curl the toes into the floor, and start with the toes on the floor to begin. Lift the right leg off of the floor, making sure that the heel again is no higher than the hip. Keep the tone in the abdominal area to lengthen through the low back, and then we'll lift the left arm. So it's opposite leg and arm. Reaching the left arm straight out in front of you, lengthening through the fingertips, bicep is alongside the ears. Keep breathing. And then Slowly, left hand comes to the floor and right knee can come down. And then left side, left heel reaches back, toes start on the floor, so finding your foundation here first. Then the left leg lifts, remembering the motion and movement of the legs from the previous exercise. Inner thigh moving up towards the ceiling, belly drawing in towards the spine to lengthen through the low back. Then when you're ready, lifting the right arm off of the floor, so opposite leg and arm, lengthening through the right fingertips. Bicep is alongside the ears, making the leg and the arm as straight as you can. Breathing smooth, even breaths. And then when you're ready, right hand comes down to the floor and the left knee comes onto the floor. You can rest in between these exercises, doing as many rounds as is comfortable for you. Perhaps resting, again, in child's pose. You can bring the knees nice and wide, big toes to touch, seat to the heels, and then relaxing the forehead either onto the floor, onto your fists, or you can bring your arms forward, resting here.